even?
Well, it's posting it.
Well, I mean,
hey, welcome to the Two Guys Show, number 6 with Angela Maiers. This is episode number 6, like I just said, October 1st, the first day of Connected Educators Month, which is pretty exciting to have the amazing Angela Maiers with us today. I'm Drew Minock. You can follow me at TechMinock on Twitter using the hashtag 2 Guys Show. We'll be checking that throughout the show if you guys have questions or comments on what's going on. Sorry we're starting a little bit late, but that's okay.
And hey everyone, I am Brad Wade. Again, we want to say thank you to Angela. It's nice to see you, Angela. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing awesome. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, thank you. For our regular viewers, you can tell my setup is a little different tonight. We had a little technical difficulties. It's usually Drew, but hey, tonight jumped in. Jumped in tonight, and my camera was not working. So Angela was brilliant. She told me to jump on my iPad. So I've got my iPad kind of standing here if it falls down, and I don't have my lower third tonight. So sorry about that, everyone. So. All right, well, thank you again. It's nice to have you on the Two Guys Show. Angela, so the way our show works, we sent you the notes, but we want to kind of go over real quick. We have our certain sections that we always do, and we like our guests to join us and talk about the things that we're bringing up. So the first thing we're going to talk about is this week on Twitter. So if there's something that, some interactions you had on Twitter, something interesting, or somebody you want to talk about, something that happened on Twitter this week, why don't you just go ahead and share that with our audience?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, unless you want Drew to go first. We like to let ladies go first, but
okay. Yeah, ladies go first. We'll let you go ahead, Angela.
So the most exciting thing that happened for me on Twitter this week, which is an everyday occurrence, something exciting happens, but I was at a school and I met the first start of the school. I walked to school with students every day and then helped their class get Twitter set up. So their class started tweeting, and then we were collecting the tweets, so we were live streaming the professional development session, and then I got to do lessons with kids, so we were videotaping that, and then the teachers all in the audience were tweeting like rock stars. They were sending pictures of their notes while they were taking notes. They were sending pictures of our work that we did, and then we created a Storify afterwards. And so we posted the Storify, and they used both the hashtag of the district and the city that it was in, and then the school. And so we had parents and business members and community leaders following the story, following what we were doing all day. And so we just did an invite saying any parents that, have a question and want to talk and, want to share their thoughts on what we're doing with the school. And their kids were so excited and their staff was so excited. We had 574 parents show up this evening.
Awesome.
I know. And then we had people from the community that were like, well, I'm not a parent in Coppell. Can I come, or is it okay? I'm like, absolutely. So we had this whole section of people that did not have kids going to the school district, but were so excited about what we were doing and what their kids were sharing. And it was just such an amazing story. And they were watching everything for, 2 solid days on the Twitter stream that we just had literally a community event that came through Twitter. And it was absolutely amazing. We were like, who are these people? I don't know. They came from Twitter. And they're here. And they're so excited. It was incredible. 574 parents, family members. Is that ridiculous?
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
my
awesome.
Twitter story this week. Yeah, don't underestimate the power of Twitter in your community. Not just in your school, but in your community. It's your best storytelling, absolute best storytelling platform.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more.
Absolutely. That's a great...
Man, maybe we shouldn't have let her go first. I can't top that.
That's all right, Drew. Go ahead. What do you got this week?
I just wanted to give a shout out. One cool thing is Amanda Maiers, her name. She's an educator who set up a nitrogen scavenger hunt using Erasma, which is pretty cool. Scavenger hunts are always fun, but when you throw a little AR in there, obviously everything gets a little bit more engaging, a little bit more exciting, brings it more to life. So big shout out to that. I thought that was awesome that she did that. I'm real interested to kind of hear the feedback and how it went.
That's awesome. That's great. Awesome. And, well, throughout the night, through the different segments, I actually have a lot of Twitter things to share, so I'm going to just keep this first one a little brief. Got a tweet, I don't know if it was last night, maybe 2 days ago, from Allison Pimenta. Apparently she created an app for the iPad for kids. It's called Axel's Chain Reaction, and I took a little bit of a look at it today, and one thing that intrigued me was it's got some cool features on it. So I told her I was going to download the app and check it out. She was looking for some feedback. Looks like you can adjust some of the reading settings and reading levels and stuff like that, so I'm going to check that out. And what I really love about Twitter is that people who you never would have gotten in contact can reach out to you, or you can reach out to them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And now, I have this new app that I can check out and share with my kids, and so we'll check it out and give her some feedback. So thank you, Allison. Appreciate that. And then looking forward to meeting up with a couple local guys, Seth Berg and Gary Aboud. We've been trying to get together with Seth. We were supposed to be getting together with Seth. He's a principal in a middle school in our area. We connected through Twitter sometime last spring, and even though we're close by, Angela, we still have not been able to get our schedules right.
Man, I know it's like the schedules, they just haven't connected right. So hopefully we can get that figured out.
Well, we were supposed to do it today, but again, I apologize, Seth. I forgot Brenna had soccer practice after school, Drew. So, anyways, so that is
Mia Hamm. Let me tell you. Whew.
Yeah, that's my 6-year-old. She's quite a little soccer player. So
that's awesome. That is excellent.
Yeah, so thank you. All right, so that's this week on Twitter. So let's talk about EdTech conferences. So Angela, I know you go all over the place and you give amazing speeches, and we'll get into your You Matter movement here in just a little bit. But if you can speak to either an EdTech conference or a conference you went to recently, or one you have coming up, or a little bit of both, what's on your agenda? Where have you been?
Well, you picked quite a week to ask me that question. So I did 12 presentations in 10 days in 5 different states. So which one do you want to pick? And
wow.
They were all extraordinary. So can I pick 2?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead. Share away.
Right. So the first one, well, this was the most recent one. I was with 5,000 school superintendents in Texas, and it was extraordinary. It gave me so much hope to see a room on, my topic was getting technology right, and to see literally a packed ballroom and people in standing room only, where leaders are actually signing up for these sessions and coming to these sessions to find out how to use these platforms and these tools in the most extraordinary ways. And the leaders stayed after, and we had a tweet up afterwards, and during the session we had about 15 superintendents that got on Twitter. They had egg faces, but I didn't want to it was like, that's the second lesson, but they're like getting up and really seeing the power of it, and it was absolutely extraordinary. And it gives me so much hope that we've got leaders on the front line willing to step up and at least dip their toe in a few steps before their students or their teachers. So that was very inspiring. My most inspiring, I guess, opportunity this week was with the business and enterprise community has a TED-like event called BIF, the Business Innovation Factory, and every year they highlight the most disruptive innovations that are going to change our world. So
right.
Front row is the CEO of Zappos, and then the CEO of eBay, and the head of Fast Company, and every awesome. 500 of the who's who in the innovation community and at this conference, because everyone is awesome. They don't do standing ovations. So there were 40 storytellers in the whole thing, and it was a really special event for me, not just simply to be presenting, but we had been working with the Business Innovation Factories, our partners in Choose to Matter. So they'd been operating all year as like a sort of a virtual Shark Tank. So as these hundreds of projects for Genius Hour and Choose to Matter came in, we literally had individuals that are in the business of scaling innovations sort through them and sift through them, and we got the 100 down to 50 and got the 50 down to 20 down to 10. Wow. And so the one project that won to scale happened to be these 6 young women. And right before my session was the head of the Dalai Lama's Center for Compassion, and sent to the audience a message directly from the Dalai Lama. And the last thing he said to the audience was that Western women will save the world because of their compassion. So it was the girls and I came up next, and they were scared to death, and so was I. And so on stage, I'm like, just own your genius. We did not come this far. Like, just go out there and own it. And so we went and did the presentation. The girls were amazing, absolutely amazing. They 20 hours earlier, I was working with them on saying their name and their company. Like, I am Alicia. I'm with Bikes with Benefits, and I'm changing the world. Let me tell you how. Like, we were working through that. These girls like stepped out and said, you leaders need to tell our leaders that we are more than a test score, and we need you. And I was just standing back there like, wow.
Yes.
And after they got finished, everyone in the auditorium stood up and gave them a thunderous standing ovation.
Oh.
I just stood back and just was like, see what I'm talking about? I'm not even worthy to be on this stage. And I just kept getting out of the way and pushing them forward. And they were absolutely amazing. The tapes have not been released to the public yet, but they should be curated in the next week. But that was by far the most exciting conference, was to watch, our student genius just not only be worthy of an audience like that, but to gather their attention. Every speaker from there on out mentioned in some way the girls' presentation. So it was, and they represent hundreds and thousands of students that participated in Choose to Matter that are sitting in our classrooms right now, and it was unbelievable. So
Wow.
that was my conference experience.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of days. I still haven't come down from a high yet.
I wouldn't either. Holy cow.
That's awesome. And Angela, knowing what you do and following your work and stuff, and I know that's just something that you're very modest about, but that's something you do very naturally, is get people inspired and get them going and stuff. We like to do a lot of the same things, but that's really great that you were able to get them comfortable and confident to get up there and speak.
They
And
did not have a choice. They were like,
exactly.
"You got your genius on me? What are you doing?" I'm like, "You cannot do that. Get up there."
There we go.
Exactly. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. We really appreciate it. For those of you who just joined us, we are with Angela Maiers on the Two Guys Show. Thank you. Having a great discussion here. Drew, so let's pop in real quick. And we can't follow that up really, but we will jump a little bit on some of the.
I have a feeling, Brad, this is going to be a common theme throughout the show, but
Drew,
I'm all right with it.
You know what? And even if she shows us up in the AR corner, hey, more power to her. That's awesome stuff. So,
I think that's when we might have a slight edge, but we'll see.
Yes, you do. Trust me.
So Drew, oh my gosh, we have a ton. So why don't you just mention briefly a couple things we got going on, and if there's anything we missed, I'll jump on one.
Yeah, the one, there's a couple different ones. Obviously, in a couple weeks is the Reform Symposium. It's a free online conference, October 11th through the 13th.
Right,
we're pretty excited because we're presenting in that. I believe our session is at 3 o'clock.
Nice.
On Sunday. We're performing with the one and only Tech Ninja Todd.
Yep, shout out to Todd.
Yeah, so it'll be us three, and of course, we'll be talking about. Yeah, he is amazing. We'll be talking about AR, of course, during that session. So we're really excited about that. And another thing about that conference is pretty cool is that our own Brad Wade is an Ed Inspire honoree for that conference. So he found that out. So that's pretty exciting that someone acknowledged how passionate he is about education and how he inspires people, so that's pretty amazing.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, no, dude, you deserve it. That's awesome.
You do.
And one other one.
Your genius? Yeah, I hope you're not doing that. Shying away from your genius.
You know what? Angela, it's funny because and I say this almost every show. I say if you've seen Drew and us live, it's something. One thing Drew and I think it's funny because watching you on Todd's show, and then I've checked out your work and followed you and stuff. I guess that would be something that would be mine and Drew's genius, is getting up and talking in front of people.
That's awesome.
We really love our presentations. It's unlike anything you've seen, and we really enjoy it. So
we love it because we're passionate about what we're talking about. I know your passion is important. And that's one of the things that you can't fake passion about when we're talking up there. We're really excited about the things that we're doing. We see the change that it has on our students in the classroom and how it takes learning to a deeper level. So, we're passionate to share that. We want people to try these things, and we're excited to share it. One more real quick is the Ohio Educational Tech Conference, which is January 27th through the 29th in Columbus, Ohio, which hopefully We're still working the details out, but hopefully we'll be there as featured speakers and doing a workshop on augmented reality as well.
Nice.
Yep, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so actually, as soon as January hits, we're very busy with big conferences because on the 29th of January we're presenting at FETC. We'll be down in Orlando, so we'll be down there for a few days.
Yes.
We also will be presenting in ICE, the Illinois conference, in
I will
February.
be there.
Oh,
Will you
yes.
be there?
I will
You're going to
be
have to
at
come
ICE.
to our workshop if you're not
I will
presenting.
come to your session.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, that's great. It'll be nice to be at the same place.
Yeah.
We'll have
Yeah.
to get together.
Yeah.
So, and then I guess that's it. We did. Drew and I did something kind of interesting yesterday. We updated some pictures on our blog yesterday. Drew and I had to do a photo shoot yesterday, which was pretty interesting. And the funny thing is well, that was a little new for us. But the funny thing is the photographer did a great job, and he gave us access to all these pictures. So we ended up taking a bunch for 2 guys for our blog and our show and stuff, and we ended up with some pretty cool pictures. So Drew,
That's
I know
awesome.
that.
Well, it's funny because Brad's trying to smile and he's struggling to smile so much. So here I am making faces at him behind the camera guy to get him to laugh. Some of the pictures turned out kind of bad. His eyes are closed and he can't stop laughing. But whatever. We like to have fun like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time. So, all right. Well, let's move on. If you're just joining us, we're with Angela Maiers, the creator and person who is pushing the You Matter movement, and we're going to get more to that in just a minute. We're almost there. Last thing we're going to do before we get to the deep heart of the interview, this is our segment, Angela, we call the AR Corner. This is our chance to discuss the world of augmented reality. That's, as you know, that's kind of mine and Drew's specialty. We always like to talk to our guests, see what they know, see if what they've done, and if not, we just like to have some exchanges. So now that you've sort of been prepped, what is your comfort level and knowledge of augmented reality, if at all? So why don't you share with us where you're at?
Me?
Yeah.
None. None. No,
Awesome.
No, seriously, no experience. I'm a new learner. I'm an excited learner, an anxious learner. I think it's extraordinary. I mean, what I've seen. So I know enough to be dangerous. I know enough to say this is awesome, and kids
Right.
explore this.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
have in my own learning and my own life, I know that it's an entirely new world that can open up things to me and open up things to learners that I have just not even touched. So
Yeah.
I'm 100% a fresh learner for you.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, we love that, Angela. That's, as we said, that's what we do, and just something to share about us. Everything we speak about, we've tried in the classroom, and we use it, and we speak about it because we've seen how it transforms learning. It makes changes in the students, the way they approach learning, the deepness of their learning, their engagement in their learning, and the time on task. Us as teachers, if we can capture a student in a deeper understanding and get them on task even longer, you know how amazing that is. So,
Absolutely.
So that's all right. So Drew, why don't you share something about AR this week? Something you've done, something that you've read about. What's going on with you?
Well, mine's kind of I don't know, a problem that I've had with AR a little bit. It's not a problem with the technology itself, but it's a problem with some of the articles that we've read recently on AR and education. I feel like they don't really do it justice. They almost like people could read it and just be like, well, this is a fad, or this isn't that great. They don't do a real good job of showcasing actual power of augmented reality and kind of the things it can do. The applications that are out there already available that are powerful for education, things like that, are not highlighted in them. And these are on popular websites too. These aren't just run-of-the-mill blog posts or anything like that. These are on big education websites where these people, I feel like maybe they're just trying to get a post out there about AR because it's kind of a hot topic a little bit right now, and so they're not really educated or not really digging deep into kind of how it can be used in the classroom. So that's kind of my little bit of a beef with it.
Yeah, I'll jump on that with you. I'll tag on that real quick. Yeah, Drew, I guess it was bound to happen. Now because AR has become such a popular buzzword, now people are attaching it as like a tag to, on anything or a title in an article. And it's not doing it justice, or it's truly not augmented reality. And we'll get onto that another topic another time. But yeah, that's it's a little unfortunate, but I guess it was bound to happen. So
what would you say the biggest advantage is, or the biggest misconception and the biggest sort of surprise that people have when they really deeply understand it?
I think the biggest misconception is that it's just a fad or a gimmick, and it's just it's like a QR code.
Yes, thank you.
I think that's one of the things. Everyone thinks it's just a QR code, where you scan it and it takes you to a website, but it's so much more than that. It's such an experience, and you can tell a story. It's more engaging. It's more magical. You can bring anything into the classroom that, before you couldn't bring into the classroom, like planets, spaceships, literally 3D right on your desk. Elements that you can't touch, or now you're holding in the palm of your hand. Just powerful, magical experiences for the students, and I think that's one of the things that it does. And I think a lot of these articles, they're not really touching on that. They're more just getting it out there to where, hey, look at some of these apps, and then that's it. And they're not really going into how you can actually use it in the classroom in a meaningful way, having kids create it and taking ownership over it and things like that. And I think that's one of the main misconceptions, is people aren't really using it the right way, or if they are using it, they're not using it correctly, I guess. I don't know.
That's why your blog and your voice are so important, because people need to be shown, and you're showing them, and you're showing them it passionately. And so even if they weren't interested really on their own, passion is contagious. So just your passion about it makes me excited about it. Something that if I would read in an article, when you see somebody passionately not only using it but advocating for it, you're evangelizing it, you're absolutely, that's attractive. That's what actually draws you into the conversation. Like, you can get excited about a molecule. You can get excited about things. That's how important teacher's passion is. It makes me want to learn more, because what is it that's the draw for you, and what is it that's kept you with this in spite of misunderstandings and challenges? So that in itself is exciting, not even just whatever I'm going to be able to do with it. So
exactly.
It's awesome to see.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. For those of you who we're talking about AR, and this is our AR Corner segment. We're just talking about some of the misconceptions in augmented reality right now. But the truth is, augmented reality in education is an extremely powerful tool, especially when it's used the right way. There are some amazing applications out there. There's some apps that are designed, that are already created, that have some great AR components that actually enhance the learning environment. But there's also the open source app Erasma that Drew and I use a lot, and we teach people how to use. So think of this, if you're just joining us or you're new to the show, using Erasma, it can put a new twist on old lesson plans, great lesson plans that you've made in the past, and they're wonderful. But now we can bring those to life and make the learning even deeper. So, if you want to learn more about true integrative augmented reality in the classroom, please check out our blog, Two Guys, Some iPads. And under the section of meaningful integration of AR, Drew wrote a wonderful post about it. It's one of our most popular pages. It's truly meaningful, along with our AR tutorials. So please check that out.
Drew, I'll repost that on my blog. Send it to me, and I'll repost it on my blog.
Awesome. Thank you. Definitely will.
Yeah.
We will do that. All right, Drew, last thing, I'm just going to mention a couple names of people who've been doing some cool stuff in augmented reality for the week. Thomas Rodriguez in Texas. He is a QR code convert. He is now an augmented reality.
Yes.
He is very. Did you see that, Drew?
He's like one of my favorite people in the world right now.
QR code convert. I want to be one of those.
It's awesome. So I wanted to give a shout out to Thomas. And then Sydney Musselwhite. She was really nervous. She wanted to do some AR at an ed camp. She was tweeting out. She was getting some feedback, and we were sharing some information with her. And I heard she did a great job. I heard from a lot of people who were in her session. Tamara Dollar and Brett was in there, and she did Ed Camp WT, and I believe it was in Texas. So wanted to give a shout out. We love when educators are taking the reins and running. It's Angela. Some of the stuff we've been hearing about. One thing we always say is we're just two guys, but our PLN is much more than that. And so when we hear about people doing amazing things, we love to shout it out and share their wonderful ideas and applications. So thank you.
Great.
All right. Well, if you're just joining us, we're with Angela Maiers, and now we are really into the heart of the interview. So I know we've talked about this. We've checked out your movement. Just to set the stage, Angela Maiers is the creator, and she is the person who really is passionate about the You Matter campaign. So I know we're going to talk about this a little bit at length here and there, but Angela, why don't you just, if somebody doesn't know it from basically just the beginning, can you just kind of give a quick overview what You Matter is and why did you put it together?
So it was really organic. It's not anything necessarily new to me or to teachers. It's something that I've been really explicit about, sharing with kids for 25 years. I've been telling them in every grade that I've taught, in every context that I've taught, that they matter and they have something really unique that the world needs, that not just I need or the classroom needs, but that the world deserves to know about. And so I had an opportunity to talk at TED, at a TEDx event. And, you know, it's hard. You go through a million different topics. And one of the things that I noticed, as inspired as I was by all the things shared about TED in reforming not only education, but in reforming the world, is that the second I felt really inspired, then the talk was over, and then I started feeling really crappy, like, God, like I'm not this, or I can't do this, or oh my gosh, but they're blank. And then I stopped myself at like 3 in the morning. Right before my talk, I ripped everything up, and I just went with my gut, and I tried to think of what in 17 minutes can I say that would both inspire people, but then cause them to take action, because not very many people take action after they've seen a TED Talk. And so I did the talk, and I thought, you know, everyone can take action on this. Every single person can share those 2 words with someone in their life. And even if they don't speak them explicitly, if they don't say, you know, you matter directly, if they're more explicit about noticing it and noticing other people and being able to communicate to them the value that they bring to their lives and to the world. And it went well. So talk,
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
This crazy global movement, and it wasn't educators and teachers coming forward. It was NASA scientists and heads of Wall Street companies and enterprises and really every other community but the education community.
Right.
It really made me start really digging deep into the science of mattering and understanding, and I said this in the talk, that this is not any motivational statement. It is not, the intention of it is not to inspire, it's to ignite action. And that's exactly what it's done. And whether the action is, like right away from the talk, people were saying, I texted somebody that I know, I told my wife that she mattered, and I put
on my
email list. And the actions were immediate, and the impact was absolutely profound. And then when you leverage that collective impact, then you started seeing people change and communities change, and lo and behold, 140 characters at a time. The message has been shared since the talk over 1.5 million times. And so as we've been tracking the hashtag, it's been profound to see the collective spread of words that I now realize the world desperately needs to hear. I think words have always changed the world, and words have always rallied people. And these 2 words at this particular time are an important reminder that mattering is not a luxury. It is absolutely a need.
Mm-hmm.
And so what was amazing is when the words got to kids, you know, at mass scale. I partnered with Peter Reynolds last year as he worked on Dot Day. We said, well, really, Dot Day is making your mark. And when we had, I think for the last 5 years, they had like about 17,000 people participating. And then when we actually combined it with You Matter, we had 817,000 kids sign the manifesto.
Wow.
I'm going to make my mark, and I'm going to matter. And I think Peter had 1.5 million kids this year participating in Dot Day. And to watch, we were sort of this homeless movement. Like, we were massive in scale. And at the same time the talk came out, really groups of teachers were reading The Passion-Driven Classroom and exploring and doing book studies. And I wrote about the 20% time, now Genius Hour, whatever it's called. We call it Passion Time in the book, 20% time, Genius Hour, whatever you want to call it. But the idea of giving kids a legitimate time during school to pursue their passions, to explore their passions, to share their passions with other kids. And we worked with Skype in the classroom to connect those classrooms together. So if kids were passionate about this, then we try to connect them over here. And so these sort of came together in this whirling wind, and then teachers would share with me these projects that kids were doing during Genius Hour, during 20% time, and they were profound. And it started with 1 or 2 a week, and so I was blogging every week. I'm like blogging like crazy. Like I'd highlight a teacher, I'd highlight a classroom, I'd highlight what a genius kid's doing. And then because of social media and the network connected to You Matter, the project scaled just like this. And
Wow.
so for the last year of my life, I've been every minute almost scared to go to the Facebook page, and almost where there's over 6,000 teachers and 1,500 classrooms doing this work, because there'd be another awesome project, and I just didn't have the infrastructure to respond to every one of them and blog. And I said, well, this is ridiculous. We have the technology, we have the network, we have people rallying around this message, and we have kids every day in brave, unbelievably fierce, bold ways sharing how they choose to matter. And the difference between kids and adults is when kids say, I'm going to act on this and I'm going to do something about this, they don't need a committee, they don't need to think about this for a long time, they don't need to do 50 million blueprints and plans. They're like, this is not okay, this is not working, what are we going to do about it? Give me 2 recesses and boom, we're going to do this. And just to give you an example, so I'm literally in the room at that conference at BIF with 500 of the world's most prolific disruptors and innovators. They are the people that have literally rebuilt and framed out what our world is right now. And so their speed of action is pretty significant. So the girls get off the stage, there's 6 girls, and I don't know how, but somewhere there was a kid in the audience either watching the live stream or watching the tweet stream. They rallied, and 35 kids from neighboring high schools showed up at the end of the stage. So
Wow.
when I walk off the stage, there's 35 kids. We don't know where they came from, but they want to be involved. Like, how do we get involved with Choose to Matter? How can we matter in our communities? What can we do? And then these 6 girls who I said were terrified, they're like, well, sit down and we will tell you. Let us what it's going to take. And so for the next hour, what was amazing is I didn't even notice this because I was in the mode with all the kids, is that all of these innovators, all of these prolific minds were like lined up on this stairway, just like watching these kids in awe, like literally watching them in about 13 minutes, not 13 days or 13 weeks, in 13 minutes from the time we walked off the stage to planning. They had a Google Doc form. They had already brainstormed how to do a large event. Do we want to start it at high schools? Do we want to have Choose to Matter in middle schools? They are now planning an event, no lie, at Madison Square Garden. They are rallying community members. They're rallying leaders. These are these 35 kids. So I said, okay, whenever you guys figure out what you need me to do, just email me and I'll just show up. I'll just totally show up, because their execution rate is absolutely awe-inspiring. And so as we watch these kids take bolder and braver actions, it got more and more urgent for us to get them the proper mentors, the proper audience, the proper support in order to do their world-changing work. And so we partnered with the Business Innovation Factory, this network of 5,000 of the most prolific minds in our world. We partnered with a top leadership network that represents leadership in every disruptive industry and field. And then our latest partners I'm really proud of are a group of 800 of the world's most elite heroes, all the Medal of Honor winners, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star generals that have given service to liberating our world, are working with us hand in hand to liberate the genius of our students. So during what we call the Quest to Matter, as kids were putting these projects in, we did not offer them money. We did not offer them, some token adult saying, oh, that's a really good idea, we'll give you this scholarship. We offered them what human beings want. We offered them recognition, legitimate recognition as an equal voice and an equal partner in co-solutioning the world's most complex problems. So they took on everything from clean water to human trafficking to suicide and rape. There was nothing off limits that these kids would not pursue. And then we offered, secondly, support and mentorship. And so through Twitter and through what we call drive-by mentoring, hashtags where the kids would be like, you know, choose to matter suicide, or choose to matter human trafficking, or choose to matter. We have been working our network, and our network has been really powerful in working at getting back to them. And it was at that moment when kids saw that legitimate leaders and enterprise giants absolutely believed in their contribution. And the moment kids understood that their contribution was not only, you know, wanted, that it was valued and needed, everything changed. And to be witness to that is I don't even have words for it. And so what we're working on, I'm talking too much, aren't I?
No, you're on a roll.
No. Well,
we're not going to stop you.
I'm so excited.
Great.
No, but
this is exciting.
I do want to ask you something, because you hit something that's absolutely fascinating.
Yes,
you talked about kids' execution rate, and that I totally agree with you. But I'd like to flesh that out a little bit.
Yeah. Probably not the best choice of words.
Yeah. No. I think it's because you're talking about how kids, you know, they don't worry about red tape. They don't worry about committees and stuff like that.
They're fearless.
So what I want to bring up is, you know, you're in a great position because you get to see kids, and like you even talked about, they're ready to act. You know, they're ready. They don't need committee stuff. And one thing I really like is that when you have a lot of meetings with business executives and generals and people who are, and superintendents, people who are in charge and can actually make a change. Is that one of your talking points with them about action? Is it taking action? Is that one of your talking points? Like, let's forget about the red tape. Let's forget about politics. Let's do this because it's the right thing. Could you speak to that for just a minute?
Absolutely. So the structure, because innovation absolutely has a structure. It has constraints. So because we've seen Genius Hour happening all year and projects coming in. So what we sort of emerged naturally and dynamically is the relationship between passion and compassion, and which one fuels action. And it's not the chicken or the egg. They're both absolutely intertwined. They're sisters and brothers. And so we want kids to understand, to explore what their passions are, because what that builds are the habitudes of success. It builds resilience. It builds endurance. The root word of passion is to suffer and to endure. So whether it's a molecule you're passionate about or it's a frog, whatever it is, what you're proving in your passion-driven work is that you can stick to something. That, you know, I've been writing about literacy and learning for 25 years.
Right.
I have varied on my topics. I've written different perspectives. But at the core, I've been writing about literacy and learning and leadership for 25 solid years, every single day without fail. And so what that does, whether kids write about robots or they work on photography, it shows a level of commitment, and it shows a level of fierce discipline that is needed to do work that matters. So it isn't an either or. It isn't I'll change the world or I'll do a passion project. So that's been one of the confusions coming up with Genius Hour. My kids want to explore photography. They're not saving the clean water in the world. You don't have to choose. So the space that we hope to launch, I hope in the next week, is called Your Sphere. And we're working with the development team and a group of kids and a group of leaders in the Genius Hour sort of community have been working directly with the developer to develop a site that nurtures both. So in Your Sphere, you have your spheres, which are based around your passion, and it is your responsibility to hone that passion, to go deeper into that skill, to gather and surround yourself with other members that are also passionate about frogs or molecules or whatever. And simultaneously, there's another part of the site called cause spheres, and those are the heartbreaks of the world. So the work that drives the compassion-driven learning part of the movement is what matters to you. That's part one, question one during Genius Hour. Question two during Genius Hour is what breaks your heart about that.
Right.
So you've got to be in tune with what matters to you, and then if you want to apply that, what matters to you and what breaks your heart about that, and how are you going to use your gift, and how are you going to use your talent and passion and the communities and leverage collective genius towards that. Kids are working on both, and it's really a beautiful thing to see. So the cause spheres can reach into or reach out to the passion spheres, and they'll all be in one home. They'll all be in one place, which I'm really happy about. So
Absolutely.
compassion-driven learning is about heartbreak, and passion-driven learning is about being true to your heart, and they're not an either-or. What I have learned and what I have found in terms of executing action or taking collective action is what rallies people to action far quicker and far more at scale is compassion-driven learning, is when you say, this is breaking in the world. The world needs your contribution. We need every kind of genius. Get to it. And it's through that work that you really discover how you're essential. And it takes you right back to what you can commit to and what you can engage in. You might find out that your photography skills are needed, and you decide you're going to hone those, or that your video skills are needed. Kids discovered, and they speak about this. It isn't even about their ability to solve this problem. It's an act of discovery, and it's in that heartbreak and your ability as a community to move past that heartbreak that you literally find out how strong you are. And to watch these kids come into their genius, but come into their strength literally in front of your eyes is absolutely amazing. We just got a tape from a group of 7th graders who were, like terrified. And so this is where our community comes in, and it takes a lot of courage to get up there and say, this is not okay in the world, and why are we standing by to let this happen? And what is wrong with us? We need to do something about this. And watching these kids come together, and yet when they went up on stage to proclaim what it is they were going to do to the world, our network came in, and so one of our generals that's stationed in Afghanistan who knows a little bit about courage came and said,
yeah, a little bit.
This is your duty. Withholding your genius doesn't do anyone any good. Playing small is not acceptable in today's world where we have a chance to do small acts with big impact. And it's just been extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. I've talked too much.
Wow.
Too.
No. If you're just joining us, we're talking with Angela Maiers, the founder and creator of You Matter, but she's giving us an update on newest and the latest called Your Sphere. You can find more information at yoursphere.com. Also, if you want to hear her speak more about this, I know she was on Edu All Stars with Todd Neslony about a month ago, and I saw that episode. It was great. Angela did a nice job explaining that as well. So thank you, Angela. Let's. How can people get involved in this? What can people do that are watching? How can they get involved in the movement?
We're still a little bit homeless, so Your Sphere right now doesn't have the Genius Hour home right now. So the best way is obviously tweet me. I'm on Twitter a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
100,000 followers plus
Yeah.
strong. Just a little bit.
Yeah, you can use the hashtag Choose to Matter and just say, I want my school involved, I want my kids involved. Obviously, you can find me online. So there's an Ask Angela button. ChooseToMatter.org. It's a number 2, so choose 2. I know that's wrong. Choose 2.
There you go.
Matter.org has examples of the projects that we're going to move to Your Sphere so that they aren't just, a lot of times we run these contests or these science fairs or whatever, and these projects just lay dormant. This is all about leveraging the genius of the entire community. So even if a project doesn't fully scale, it has a chance to connect with another project. It's searchable. And so we're working on that infrastructure of what it looks like. Instead of searching through 400 projects, to be able to search what are all the actions being taken in the cause sphere of human rights? What are all the actions being taken in the cause sphere of environment? So that there's a searchability through the hashtag so that you can find your community, you can find a cause, and you're not reinventing the wheel. Because I think, even in the small groups that we've done, we did a high school with 350 kids, and then we just did a middle school with 200 kids. And they were all working on their heartbreak maps, and they were all working. And then when we pulled them all together, just on, around the auditorium, we found that probably 30 to 40% of the projects, the students were working on the same thing. And then it was the next step was trying to get this group connected to this group, connected to this group, so that we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. And I think that's a mindset shift, is that a lot of people don't want to share their talent because they think that, I don't know, that there's not a lean mindset. So anyway, we're trying to do what we've been doing offline virtually, so that it's not dependent on any one person being there or any, we want this to happen all the time, every day, be available to every learner that we serve and every leader that we serve.
That is so true, and that's one of the things, and I think they get passionate about this because they believe that throughout this process, it seems like, that they believe they matter and their voice matters and what they're, what they're going to do matters, because without that, you don't really have that drive and that passion to do these great things. And I think that's so important, is to get these kids to believe that they matter, and and that's the whole thing behind the whole movement.
Absolutely. Human beings don't need to be motivated. They need to have time to explore what it is that motivates and drives them. And the work that we're doing with You Matter and Choose to Matter is an inside-out movement. When people understand that they are needed and that their contribution is demanded, they step up. It was very, very telling in the auditorium of these 350 high school kids. It was the last day of school, so imagine that. 30 minutes with them. It's the last day of school, and I did my normal statement: you are a genius, and the world needs your contribution, and then follow that with how many of you believe me, knowing full well that not a one believed me. And this one boy felt bad for me in the back, and everybody's like, yeah, you're full of it. And he's like, I believe you, Mrs. Maiers, and I knew you. But I'm like, thank you so much. Thank you. And so I knew that. And I said, well, here's the deal. If I ask 5-year-olds, they believe me. So what in the hell happened between 5
Oh, my gosh.
and 15?
Yes.
So this is not okay. These problems require every kind of genius. And so I said, well, here's the deal. If you stay till 10, I promise that if you don't believe me by 10, then you can go and have a summer. They stayed 2 days, and they launched 18 social enterprises, and they're still working every single day. And it's not magic, and it's not motivation. It's absolute science, and now it's neuroscience. So we have neuroscience that says that we are motivated beyond even our conscious belief. We can go beyond what even we believe we're capable of when we are called to do something bigger than ourselves. And those are the two things that kids said in the reflection. We didn't ask them to brand their project with Choose to Matter. We just asked them to think about a heartbreak in the world and solve it. And they're like, we are Bikes with Benefits, a part of Choose to Matter. We are Suicided, a part of Choose to Matter. And they started logos. There's something very compelling about being a part of something bigger and knowing that even your small contribution made being a part of a movement is very different than being part of a moment that you know is going to be temporary. And you can't create a movement. It creates itself. This movement is self-driven. It's community-driven. And then the second part was when people from the actual world legitimately responded to them. You could see, we were following all of it in the tweet stream, and you could see with the kids' tweets during the store fight, they're like, yeah, we're here for another hour. I'll see you at the swimming pool later. This lady's here telling us we can change the world. Right. I'm going to be changing the world today. Ha, ha, ha. And then literally as, like the CEO of this company came in and the general came in and people from our network Skyped in, they're like, oh my God, I'm changing the world. Holy crap, I'm actually making a difference. And you could actually see their tweets just completely changing, like Superman coming into his power, where he's just sort of testing, like, yeah, I can do that. I can, move a block of steel. That's what the kids' tweets came, and the very end was, don't mind me, I'm changing the world right now. Or we're at midnight at Chipotle, and we're thinking of the thing for our nonprofit, and we're like, put the taco away. Go home. The world will be ready tomorrow. It's like we couldn't get them to sleep. We couldn't get them to eat. They were so compelled, like any human being. When somebody says, I need you, you are needed, please don't leave us. You'll do anything. You'll absolutely do anything, and that's what we saw over and over and over, and it was extraordinary.
Absolutely. It's funny because, like, I see your passion, I feel it, and you know what? It's when passion
That's
gets a hold of you, it changes your life. It
does.
really does.
Absolutely.
I mean, Drew and I have seen it. You know what? We have not been doing this nearly as long as you, but we're on our own movement,
Yes,
and
you are.
our movement is using technology in the right way
Yes, you
to
are.
transform education, because it is powerful and it really has a place. So we support you in that, and we love hearing all this. Drew, you got anything else for Angela that we might have missed? I know we talked earlier. She's obviously doing an amazing job sharing all our information, and the Twitter stream is just absolutely incredible, Angela. We'll be sharing some of that in just a little bit.
Oh, yay! I
It's,
haven't been looking.
I've been watching it all night, Angela, and it's absolutely
Our
phenomenal.
network rock.
I'm going to share.
Yes, it is amazingly powerful.
There's absolutely no way I could have done this without these genius, not just genius teachers, because they've always been genius, brave, absolutely brave teachers, because that's what this requires. We did these projects. It was just my partner and I, Mark Moran, finding Dulcinea. We literally did not know what we're doing, and the leaders were like, we don't know what we're doing. So I'm like, well, kids will know. So I Skyped in, at lunchtime with kids, and we're like, well, what does this look like? They planned the 2 days. We just showed up. I mean, basically, we just showed up. And we showed up with butcher paper, Post-it notes, and smelly markers, which are really critical. Like, don't be trying to change the world with just regular markers. Like,
right, Drew?
I'm a monster fan of smelly markers. Yeah. I have 2 boxes of them in my drawer right next to my desk, and they're like my favorite markers of all time. Totally agree. That is the key to everything.
It is. Smelly markers, that's it. And Post-it notes, yeah. And duct tape. I don't know why.
And duct tape and awesome stuff. Some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
I wrote a post earlier this year about a book that I found that, I just happened to be out shopping, walked into this thrift shop, and it's just got the big number 1 on it, and it says, if anybody knows me, I'm a monster fan of quotes.
That book.
I love quotes.
You know it?
I love inspiring quotes. So I open it up, and one of the first things it says is that you're a marvel. Yes. And it's kind of just like the you matter, and it talks about when are we going to start teaching students what they really are. Absolutely. You're a marvel, and it goes through this whole talk, and that was the very first thing I did with my kids, the first day of school is tell them, you're a marvel. You believe in yourself, that there's nobody else in the world that's like you. Absolutely. And I think that that's a powerful statement, is to build those relationships and to get your students to realize that they are a marvel and they do matter. And
to get their teachers to realize that. And to get their teachers to realize that.
Yeah. You know what, that is a big thing, Angela, and I know that's part of our big push and our big movement is getting people to convert and understand that there is genuine power behind all this. So,
absolutely.
You know what's funny, Angela? I have a feeling that you and I and Drew, we could actually probably talk for 6, 7, 8 hours straight, and throw Todd in, and probably Aaron and some others. Put Aaron in there, Todd in there. We'd probably forget a meal or two, but we'd be talking even what time it is. Because this has been absolutely wonderful. I wish we could go for more hours, but I guess let's have you wrap up just kind of anything we may have left out. I know we talked about the latest, what's going on, and how people can get involved. If there's one preaching point, one thing you want to leave on and just reiterate, what would that be?
It would be the evolution from you matter to choose to matter is really important. And the statement that is at the core of the movement and at the core of the work is you are a genius and the world needs your contribution. So it takes what Todd said earlier, or it takes what you guys have said earlier. I don't know if you got the book from Todd or not, but it takes what we've been saying earlier about your own marvel, and that is absolutely the case. But you have to see it in the context of other people. So when I talk to kids about choosing to matter, it's about understanding that you have absolutely the exact thing that someone else in the world needs. Yep. It is your responsibility to own that. It's your responsibility to take that with authenticity and humbleness. But it is also your responsibility to contribute that.
Yep.
Because you have no idea at the moment that you are brave enough, and you cannot doubt yourself. You cannot hesitate, you cannot doubt yourself, and you cannot shy away from your genius, because you're not serving anyone that way, and you certainly aren't serving the world. And so it is really a transition to get people through both of those phases, to get them to understand, to assess, and to really evaluate what their one thing is, or what their one, not even one, but what their thing is, and to put words around that, and to own that, and to live up to that. And then the second part of choosing to matter is how and in what way are you going to communicate that, and how are you going to listen in the way you communicate it so that you can serve that or be in service of that based on what it is that's broken about another person or broken about the world. And it's in that contribution that we literally cement our humanity. We literally cement the essence of knowing that we're significant. When we find a moment where our one thing is exactly what another human being needed just at that moment, and we get the honor of being able to share that and serve it. And there's nothing more motivating and there's nothing more miraculous than to be in a moment like that. And our job with technology is to just increase the chances of that moment. So you are a genius, and the world needs your contribution. There's two parts, and both the parts matter.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. What a great way to wrap that up. You summed it up beautifully. All right. Well, now we'll move on to we'll have to we'll just move on and do what it is. We have we know. I know.
Shut up.
I was going to say what?
Show notes. There they go.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. Well, all right. Let's just give some shout outs to some people on PLN and Twitter shout outs. Angela, go ahead and give a shout out to some people on your PLN or Twitter followers, whatever you like.
My God, this was so hard. This is so hard. So you just follow the tag, Genius Hour, and that will get our whole community. But in there's some very, very powerful leaders. First and foremost, my partner and absolutely my rock in this whole thing, beyond my family, who already thinks I'm crazy. So they sort of pass me off. You get her now, and he gives me back. But Mark Moran, I couldn't have done this without him. I wouldn't have wanted to do this without him. He's just been an unbelievable genius force. So he's at Finding Dulcinea, and in his side job, he actually runs this media site and invented this search engine, which is really awesome, called Sweet Search. And it's not just a search engine for kids. It's absolutely critical for adults to use as well. And then some of the key sort of leaders in Genius Hour, Oliver and Aaron, and I put their Twitter handles in. And so anything that you need about getting involved or wanting to be on the team or just wanting to make your class sort of I want to say like a test site class, like what does this look like at scale? We need stories of it at scale. So if your school or your class would be that. Then, oh my God, I put probably 50 million other people. Who else did I put on there? And I'm going to forget. This is like an award ceremony. Like, oh my God.
I know. You know the music. They're queuing up the music.
They're going to hate me on Twitter. Oh my God, there's so many people on Twitter. So I think the best way is follow Choose to Matter, follow Mark and I, follow the Genius Hour leaders. They will bubble up. Joy and oh my God, Denise and AJ and Hugh and 50. There's just so many amazing leaders who every day are choosing to matter, and it's an honor. It's an honor to work with them and to ambassador their stories. And I absolutely forgot people, and I'm going to be.
That's totally okay. We can keep them all.
I know. I'm always in Twitter trouble.
Yeah, don't go to Twitter jail. That's okay.
I've done that. I know. I've
been there too. It's okay. And one of those shout outs is to our good friend Erin Cross, who does amazing things. Yes. She's one of the Choose to Matter team leaders, and she does amazing things. Also, one shout out that I'd like to give is to Terry Eichholz, who does this, who used augmented reality with a kind of Choose to Matter type of feel to it. Just an amazing idea. That what she did is she had the pardon.
I just heard about what she did.
Yeah.
Man, she had the parents create videos saying why, for their child, this is why you matter. You matter. This is why, and then tag that video and to like a picture of either a picture of their parent or a picture on their desk or something. So when they need to know, they can always have that video of why they matter from their parents, and it's like,
oh my God,
the kids didn't know. You want to talk about powerful? I've got goosebumps right now thinking about it.
we have to share that story.
That story is
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Angela, we'll have to talk to you about that because it absolutely. I told Terry I was going to steal it as well, and Terry DM'd me with a great comment. She said it was so great when one of the kids played it. They thought it was FaceTime. Started talking to the parent. It was awesome.
Yeah, that is. Yep.
That was great.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah, you have to connect me. I heard about that. I went to the post. I couldn't get the link to see the videos. Can we see the videos?
I don't think we can see the videos of the parents, but maybe Terry can.
Oh my gosh, I would love
sign
to
off and allow that. But I'll tell you what, you want to talk about powerful. Wow.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I want to interview a parent and a kid. So get me them so I can tell their story.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
when we finish with the show, we'll talk a little more. We'll get you hooked up with Terry Holtz, and that's an story. Anything else, Drew? Anybody else, real quick?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously tomorrow is a big day for a lot of people in the EdTech world because it is the final day to submit your proposals for ISTE.
Yes.
So make sure that you get those in. They are a bear to get done.
They are.
Believe me, I know because I've been working on 2, and only 2 because I know that like Steve Dumbo's been doing like 7 or 8. Who knows? But I don't even know how he has time to do that. But
He's a
one
genius.
of them,
He is.
one of those proposals is with myself, Brad, our great friend Tech Ninja Todd, and then the great Angela Maiers on doing a session about You Matter and You Are a Marvel and the power behind it and the whole movement and trying to really spread that word to even more. So we're really excited about that and hopefully we get picked.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Angela, we're thrilled that we're able to collaborate, and I think it'll be a great panel and a great discussion if we get the opportunity to present that because, crossing our fingers, and so
hear that,
ISTE people.
We'll do this at Edgy Blogger. We'll do this at Unplugged. So we're gonna do it no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're doing it. Well, even if we gotta sit up in the hallway, we're doing it.
We have Twitter in our community. We're just gonna do it and film it and do something with VR.
You know what, we'll do it. Well, the thing is Drew and I took over the Bloggers Cafe last year, so we'll just say, hey, we'll use our PLNs, we'll use our social media, we'll post a live event, and it's done. We'll do it no matter what, wherever we're at.
Done. Yep.
Love it.
Awesome. So there you go. You got the information first. You just heard that Drew, myself, Angela, and Todd are going to be putting in a proposal. Hopefully get selected to present at ISTE next year, 2014, in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Be awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
Couple shout outs for me, and so Angela, I hope I'm going to do my Twitter shout outs, but I hope you have your song list ready because I'm not missing that portion of the show.
I do.
Drew. Okay.
I do. I got my Spotify right here. I just went off the top 3 on my Spotify, so that was it.
Okay, so cool. All right, so couple shout outs. I'm going to give Laura a shout out. Laura Gilchrist, how you doing? I see you.
That was one of mine.
Gilchrist. Hello.
Laura Gilchrist, she had conferences tonight. She thought she'd be getting here late, but she's been on the feed for a while. She's in Kansas City. She's a 6th grade social studies science teacher. She's doing some awesome stuff with iPads. She does EdCamp KC. You can find her at Laura Gilchrist 4 on Twitter. Awesome person to connect with. Check her stuff out. Second person is Julia Winter. She's a chemistry teacher in Bloomfield Hills. She's doing a lot of cool stuff with AR and presentations. She gave a PD yesterday. You can find her at OChemPrep on Twitter. And so what we'll do now, and a lot of shout-outs to other people, people who are watching tonight, Hal Roberts, Jeannie Reed, Doria Hendrickson, Katie Ann, and tons, Paul Wagner, everybody, Todd. But we could go on for hours, but let's get to it. One of my favorite parts of the show, we're going to end with this. We're going to do, all right, what's on your playlist? Drew laughs at me because I love it. He knows how much I like to sing and rock in my car, Angela. So why don't you go first, Angela? Share with us what is on your playlist right now.
So this will shock you. Hear Me Roar by Katy Perry.
Oh.
Yes, I can't help. It's on my playlist.
Wait. Do you know the story? Do you know the story behind that with us? Okay,
no.
that is Todd made a great post about
Yes, I did see that.
It's awesome. So, it's funny because me, Drew, Todd, and Aaron all been on a text group for a while, and it seems every time Hear Me Roar comes on the radio, we all take a picture of our satellite and we send it to each other. And so we have a funny inside joke we'll tell you when we're off the show about Tom. Anyways.
Now everybody on Twitter is going to want to know that. So you can't have an inside joke with Twitter claims right here. So just to let you know, that is no longer an inside joke. That's a 140-character explanation.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we'll let Todd explain it.
Yeah, we will. All right, what's next on your playlist, Angela?
Oh my gosh, I forgot. You got me all nervous. Oh, this is a sappy one. This is Pink's. What is it? Oh my
Just
God.
Give Me a Reason. Just Give Me a Reason with Nate Russ.
I love those.
Yeah.
I love them together. I love the video. I love them together. I just love Pink. She just is absolute fierceness, and I want to be her when I grow up. So she rocks. So anything Pink, that's on there. And then I forgot what I put for my third one.
Cups.
What was it? Oh yeah, because my little niece at her school did a video. She can do the cups thing. She can do that. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I'm like, I gotta live up to her, and I told her I'm gonna try to learn it. That was a couple weeks ago. It's not happening. So I've been listening to the song and watching the video, but I love watching. There's a whole bunch of videos on there of kids doing that.
Yeah. Oh.
It's incredible. It's incredible. So, and I think she's an amazing singer. So yeah, Cups.
Awesome.
Yep. Cups, roaring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Well, mine's the same as it was last week because it's a brand new album, so I'm still trying to learn it and get into it, and that's Kings of Leon's new CD.
Nice.
I'm a big Kings of Leon fan. So I've been listening to that, and then I'm gonna be surprising, I guess, probably to most people, but I'm excited for the new Eminem album to come out next month.
Just so long as you didn't say you're excited for the new Miley Cyrus album.
No, you won't hear me say that.
I'm so sad because I really like her songs. I'm just so disappointed in her as a young woman.
You know what? I'm exactly the same way. I love Party in the USA. I love her new stuff, but she's just out there, man. I don't know.
It is a bit sad.
She's trying to matter, and she's going about it the wrong way.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I need to have a talk with her, or
absolutely.
Oprah does.
Somebody does.
All right, so
not Billy Ray. He's not getting it done.
No, well, I don't think he's able to. All right, so hey, I'll give mine out, and then we'll talk about our upcoming guest. Actually, I'll give mine out, and then we got to find out how everybody can connect with you, Angela.
Okay. The Twitter stream is rocking. I'm just looking at it. I'm not ignoring
it. I hope so.
I'm telling you, it's awesome.
Following along. You guys multitask better than I do, I guess.
I guess. Hey, and that's new for me.
Jackie just said I have the fierceness of Pink, and I love her. So big shout out to Jackie. She's amazing, a genius. So.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, so here's mine. I'm going with one again I said last week. It was absolutely great. It's called Here with You by Asher Monroe, my new friend out there in the Twitter world. Great song. Another new song called Royals. Maybe somebody can tweet out who it's by. It's awesome. I love the sound of it. Drew, maybe you know who it's from. Well, Craig or somebody can tweet it out. Or Todd.
Craig's not here tonight, which is very disappointing for me.
That is weird, isn't it? He's not here. Another one is called Alone Together by Fall Out Boy. I love that. And then I got two that I've been rocking for about a year that I love. Vegas Girl by Connor Maynard. Love Vegas Girl. And then, Drew, you've heard me talk about her before. Oh Darlin' is the song. It's by Katie Groves. Katie Groves has an amazing voice, but she does a duet with the singer from Plug-in Stereo. So those are mine.
Nice. Are you tweeting these with a hashtag? Are they somewhere where your whole playlist is?
You know what?
We'll get them up on our blog post after the show.
Drew, do you usually put those up, Drew, our songs?
I don't usually make. We do need to make a two-guy Spotify channel. I think I agree with this.
Yeah, because it's funny because people say, oh, are they going to be up later? And you just asked, Angela, so I think that'd be great. We should do that. We should add our guest songs on there as well. So, all right. So, Angela, as we wrap this up, how can people contact you? Twitter, Facebook, blog. Just give us your contact information so people can connect with you.
So literally, if you type in my name, you can even get it wrong. You could even just type in Angela Maiers or You Matter. It'll get to it. So that's the easiest way, is just in some way get to my blog. There's an Ask Angela button on it. If you have something, something that you want to, an idea that you have, a way that you want to get involved. If you want to connect with the community, type in Genius Hour or Choose to Matter, and the whole community is out there. You have an absolute network waiting for you. They refuse to let you fail. You will not fail in this community. And we want you to go to choosetomatter.org. We're going to do some stuff with that, get you all linked up. And then there's a Facebook page. So there's a Choose to Matter Facebook group where that's sort of the nitty-gritty, like I tried this, or how did this work, or what's going on here. So if you want, you find me, and I'll help you find your community, and whether it's your kids or whatever, will find me. So you are
awesome.
You are needed in this mission, absolutely.
That's awesome. And I know one thing you're really good about is being on Twitter, and I know you try to see everything. I know you try to see everything you can. I know your feed is pretty incredible, so that's really commendable that you really try to connect with people. So I really appreciate that.
I do not underestimate one connection on Twitter. Don't underestimate. You are literally 140 characters away from your life changing. So don't underestimate one single tweet.
So Angela,
That's
when we get a chance to meet face to face again, when we do it ICE, we'll have to tell you our 140 character story that changed our life. So it's awesome. A powerful story.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to see you at ICE. I cannot wait to read the Twitter stream. I'm so honored to be learning with you and leading with you. And of course, I have to tell you, you matter. Of course, and I got to tell every.
Absolutely.
How much you matter to me, and I mean it. I literally mean it. I absolutely mean it. So.
Well,
it has been
we appreciate it.
Honor.
Yeah, I think this is just beginning for us. I think we'll continue to do a lot of collaboration. So.
Excellent.
So Drew, go through your contact points. Let's talk about our next guest, and we'll wrap things up.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at TechManock, or at our blog at twoguysandsomeipads.com as well. Those are great places to reach us. So there'll be links there for our emails, contact information for professional development, speaking at conferences, all types of things are there on our blog. So if you ever need to get a hold of me or anyone or Brad, that is a great place to do it.
Absolutely. And I am Brad Wade. I am Tech Brad Wade on Twitter. You can find me there as Drew and Angela do. I live on Twitter as well. You can get me on email at techbradwade@gmail. Our blog is twoguysandsomeipads.com, and as Drew said, there's information there. AR tutorials, meaningful integration of augmented reality, amazing apps, game-changing apps that will change your classroom. And then, of course, if you are interested in contacting Drew and I for conferences, workshops, inspirational speeches, and anything like that, keynoting and feature speakers, please reach out to us. Also, you can get us up on Instagram, Two Guys and Some iPads. As anybody knows, I love that. I handle that. That is one of the social media things I handle. Drew does Facebook and Vine and Spice and Peanut Butter and those 40 other social media venues. I have no idea what they're called, but Drew handles all those. I have my own Twitter account, the Two Guys Show Twitter, and the Instagram. So that's about all I can do. All right, so let's look at in the upcoming weeks. Our next guest is Walter Duncan. He is an ELA teacher in Boston, and he created the Quick Key app. And Drew, you've seen it. It's pretty sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It allows you to basically just hold your phone over this piece of paper, and within seconds it grades it for you, and instantly it can send it to any whatever grading system that you have. Yeah, it's pretty wild. And as educators, we have a lot of free time, obviously, because we don't have anything to do. So, this is a great app for educators because it allows you to just really save time when it comes to grading things and instantly uploading them to wherever you need them to go. So that's we're excited to learn about that and to talk about that next week.
That's awesome. Thanks, you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You can also follow the EdReach Network at EdReachUS on Twitter. I always have to say that for Brad. You can also subscribe to the edreach.us/newsletter at their website. You can download and follow us on iTunes, also on Stitcher. Don't forget to do that. Also, EduWins. EdReach is keeping track of the EduWins, #EduWin, and on the website with EdReach there, you can find them on there as well. So make sure you're checking that stuff out.
And following check the Twitter stream. It's unbelievable.
It is.
Love it.
These people rock.
They do rock.
Yeah,
I
absolutely
totally agree.
incredible. I'm watching not only my own Twitter feed, but I'm watching the Two Guys Show feed. It's absolutely incredible. We'll try to check in with everybody tonight. Angela, thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate it. This was our conversation with Angela Maiers, creator of You Matter and Choose to Matter, and Your Sphere and Everything. So, everybody, thank you for joining us on the Two Guys Show tonight. Please be in contact with us, and as I always say, stay connected, my friends. Our PLN is amazing, so reach out and have a great week, everyone.
All right, thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.